For the actors, I'm curious, talking about the fans, I don't know if that's a reason to take a role like this too, or what was the appeal of doing this show, this particular part? Either the ability to punch people on a daily basis, maybe, or was there something about this show and this part that you all wanted to do? Start at the end.
Yeah, Lena, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, she's Sarah Connor. It's quite frightening coming out here with you lot, knowing that I'm stepping into some very big shoes. But yay! Thank you. Thanks, Dad. For me, it's just I love Sarah, and I think that everyone on the show cares greatly about where we're going to take it. So it's just a very exciting project.
All right.
It was a chance to grow my hair out. No, in all seriousness, I grew up right about the time I hit puberty, in that whole confusing era. I discovered the Terminator movies, and I really just wanted to, I loved the no cares, no worries attitude of John in the movies, and he's kind of, I was fascinated by his kind of lion instinct, but having to be very scared all the time as well. He's kind of got this leader in there somewhere. It's just a little frightened to come out, and that's fun to play.
I get to be a Terminator.
And no one else could have done it like Summer Glau.
Can I just say one thing? It is so hard being after Summer. I mean, I just say if I had any ego, it is really dead now. Thank you. Summer is a rock star, and I tell you, I'm just honored to be next to Summer Glau. I just, if anyone has one of her trading cards, please, I'll pay you for it. I just needed a job. That's why I took it. It just happened to be the Terminator. I'm going to keep it real with you. I was broke. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. No, it was great. I'm honored.
Now, are there any things you can say? I mean, I know people won't be able to see the rest of the series for a while, and you're working on it. Anything you can kind of indicate about where it's going to go, how you're developing the storylines? No. Do they all get to live?
No. What I will say is I think that one of the things I'm really excited about, we're all really excited about, is this is the first time we'll really get to see the Connor family sort of being proactive, and I think kind of prosecuting their own war and trying to, solve the problem that is Skynet while still trying to stay sane. So I think, jumping to the present day and having a little breathing space to kind of move forward and try to, kick Skynet's ass is very exciting for me.
Kicking ass is the important part of that sentence, just so everybody knows.
There will be a lot of ass, and it will be kicked.
Will there ever be just the one episode where they're talking about supernatural, where they go to the Hawaiian vacation and nobody beats anybody up for like an hour, and
There'll be the My Dinner with Terminator episodes where we all sit around and talk about Terminators.
Make sure everybody gets one break, 1 week where they just get to rest and sit in the lawn chair. I'm feeling bad for it actually even now. One thing I think I'd read this somebody in one of the interviews might have done about the core of the story, though. While there's a lot of action and all that it's the core of it's a mother-son story. That's sort of what holds everything else together. And I don't know if that is how it begins every day when you're trying to come up with storylines or not.
Well, that is how it begins every day when we're coming up with storylines. I mean, I think when we're in the writer's room, it's very much kind of about the mother, son, and kind of we also. I mean, I think it's really the family. I mean, Cameron is kind of the third member of that triangle, and I think that again, TV does character very well, and I think it's inherent in the series. It's in the mythology. I mean, I think it's, I'm a parent, and I think that, it's every parent's nightmare that something horrible would happen to their child. And I think for every parent that fear is apocalyptic. I mean, it truly is. And I think that the great thing that Jim Cameron did is he sort of found a way to, make that, to really dramatize that core fear in a kind of a grand, and exciting, if that's the right word, way.
Now, and we're going to open up to questions. We have one more here, so if you want to get your questions ready, we'll be thrown to you guys in just a second. One thing, I'm just curious about the development of the project and how it actually sort of came to be. Was it, something that came together quickly? It took a long time because it's been, brewing for a long time?
It's been brewing since Terminator 3.
Okay.
I worked on the development of Terminator 3 and a little bit of the production, and after that movie was released as a fan of this whole universe that Jim Cameron created, I kind of wanted to see Sarah again. And we just started thinking that the coolest way to see her would be, to see how she lives every day on, this incredible journey after T2. Because I always looked at the end of T2 and thought, oh my God, what does she do now? The television show is a great way to start. And so that's where we started. And eventually Warner Brothers, the studio, got involved, and they brought Josh, and he filled out the premise and gave us this great script that David directed.
Okay, great, thanks. We can go start with the questions. Are people ready for questions?
First of all, huge fan of Summer Glau. I love you on Firefly.
Who is it?
Who isn't a fan of Summer Glau?
I love your work on the unit as well, and but I just wanted to ask, was, as strange as it may sound, when you were approaching this role, was your performance informed at all by Schwarzenegger's performance? And also, why do you always find yourself playing such ass-kicking chicks?
I hope it never goes away. I've been talking about it a lot lately, that I came to LA thinking that I was going to be Jane Eyre, and now I'm the Terminator. I don't know. I'm loving it. Coming from a ballet background, being a ballet dancer, I love being physical in my roles, so it's fairly natural for me. But it's an honor, and obviously, if you saw the pilot, I definitely patterned my performance after Arnold. So.
Thank you very much.
How you guys doing? You guys are big freaking fans, I could tell from the opening. Thank you very much for doing justice here today. Thank you.
Amen.
I had a question pretty much for everybody, if you could go down the line from James all the way down to Richard over there. If this show goes on for a few more seasons, where would you ultimately like to see it end up from the characters to the writer's perspective? Like, where would you like to see the end result go? Because in the third movie, Sarah dies, so is that how it's going to end for the show?
No.
No.
Lena's way too hot for that.
Yeah. No, we really are creating a new timeline, and the cool thing about the Terminator mythology is that because of time travel, we can do that. We can create a new timeline for Sarah, and there's no connection to T3. It's its own entity.